to say was not a very good thing. You do not have to hand it to them.
Mm.
But at the same time, again, it was an alternative. It was something different. It did some things right that were then very swiftly undone by reunification instead of trying to sort of like keep them over. Like, gender equality, some aspects of work, some aspects of housing policy, etc. But no, it was just everything was bad. And now we're slowly getting to the point where we can start to differentiate between what was bad and what was maybe sort of okay. But that took like 30 years.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. Like huge amounts of like historical trauma from, people that are victimized. But on the other hand,
It took until capitalism got worse than communism.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like, and I think you're sort of like your SED bureaucrat of the 80s view of now must be something like, how badly did we fuck it up that this is worse,
Yeah, I feel like if we went back in time and we went through Soviet border crossing,
Oh,
you'd be
boy.
like, wow, this is a lot less invasive than the TSA, huh?
Well, I have some thoughts about this if we go to the next slide. And
Yeah.
my question, by way of wrapping up my sentiment here, and I don't know if you'll agree with me or not, but I put these slides in, so I get to do it, is what kind of sick, depraved, totalitarian, communist fuck freaks build a razor wire topped wall over a state border to prevent migration with that's the US-Mexico border. Next slide, please.
Oh, thanks, Joe Brandon.
I mean, really,
I
though.
had no choice, dude.
What kind of like evil, dictatorial, tyrannical, Stalinist bastard builds a razor wire topped wall to keep people in a kind of open air prison? And no, that's the Israeli border wall around Gaza.
Thanks, Benny from Cheltenham High School.
Yeah, it was a photo of the Israeli wall around Gaza, which sort of leads me to my point, right? Which is it comes in two flavors.
No borders, no nations. I agree. Yes. Now end the episode.
It's more nuanced than that.
No, it isn't.
So my depressing point is all of this is to say that something that in the 20th century was an unprecedented violation of human rights is now a thoroughly normalized violation of human rights.
Mhm.
And we're living in the Berlin Wall's world, and that interim of happy liberal globalization reunification, if that was ever a real thing, is best understood as a temporary pause in a wider historical current of borders getting worse for everyone, which is great. On the other hand, and this is the optimistic thing, because I like to end these things on an optimistic note.
Foolish.
Yeah, the Berlin Wall teaches us that like all walls must fall, right? This stuff, like entropy being what it is, there is no state that can maintain a border indefinitely. And that isn't a time to sort of give up on the idea of making things better for people. Quite the opposite. I think that one of the lessons of the Berlin Wall is that once those systems of repression do disintegrate, you have to work very hard to provide something better. Otherwise, in 30 years later, like everyone votes for the AfD. But yeah, that's the sort of like political challenge that awaits us against all forms of like oppression and authoritarianism. That's my point of view.
Yeah.
I just noticed that this is also using ordinary streetlights.
I mean, the real winner here, big street light.
I just want to say, bringing it back to the goddamn news, what we have learned in this week is that, at the very least, you individually can get over the wall. These security systems do not work.
Yes, genuinely.
10,000 people, you're going to have some lot.
Some
you're
of
going to have
may die,
some of you may die, but the thing is, these things don't work as well as advertised.
Folks, he's so right. Like, this East German transit cop is right. They don't.
Yeah. Me, East German transit cop. I'm just saying, look, there's ways to get around this thing. Come on.
Well, I mean, the U.S. border wall is a joke. It's a joke that like kills people for sure. But like, it's in general, like Useless.
It's like 6 miles inland, so they can run it through a butterfly reservation.
Yeah. And even the Berlin Wall, which was like inside the city, it was like 40 kilometers, which is not a lot in the end, you know? And even that didn't work. It was a highly controllable environment. Like it couldn't get much better than that, effectively. And even then, it failed in the end. All walls fail, always.
Yeah.
Yep.
The walls don't work unless they're, well, no, the walls don't work. I was thinking about the Theodosian walls, and then I was like, oh, wait.
No.
It's called Istanbul now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Count
Sure.
the rings.
Yeah. This is
Which is also what Mehmet said to his siege engineers about the concentricism.
Yeah.
And also, I
I
wanted
don't
to
know,
add just a last sidebar about the thing that
Please.
in Germany, it's a very big thing that the whole GDR ended non-violently. Like, it's very important to people, and they really like to bring that up when you have other movements struggling for freedom across the world. In sort of a sense, I don't think they mean it that openly, but that's the way they mean it internally. Like, if we manage to do it without violence, why don't you? And I think that's really a wrong way of approaching it. Like, the situation in East Germany at the end was extremely anomalous. Like, from the realm of probability, it should have gone the other way. The USSR should have stepped down with big boot and said nope, and killed a whole bunch of people. But that didn't happen. That doesn't mean that that's the right way of doing it necessarily, or the only way of doing it. Like, they lucked out, basically,
Yeah.
and you
All
can't
thanks to
expect that.
one pizza-loving man.
Exactly. But you can't expect that from other wall situations around the world. Like, it's not the same thing. You can just say, oh, if they just went out and protested in the big square, then people would realize, oh, we got to do something about it. That's not quite how it works.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, the lesson to be learned here, you see a wall, tear that shit down.
Yeah.
Just punch it.
Yeah.
Punch it enough
Yeah,
times.
punch it. Punch a
for
hole in the
once,
drywall.
I think
Any wall.
we're like all anarchists on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a wall in your house? Fuck it. Make
You
an
won,
open
Liam.
plan.
You did it.
Yeah, you won.
Count the rings. Yes.
Every single one of us rejects a state's sort of like the idea of a state's moral right to impose a wall on its borders. So
yeah.
Yep.
No walls, no masters.
Right. That's right. I have stuff for you to read. That's right.
why are you handing me this vegan tray bake of
No,
brownies?
I'm not doing that. No one gets fed.
No, we got the non-vegan brownies. They're made of meat.
These are my meat brownies.
This is your tendency. It's called not bombs.
Yeah.
Who's gonna make the medicine?
I love medicine. I not very good at the whole animal liberation thing yet. But,
I'm punching the wall next to me right now.
Yeah,
no
hurting my nuts.
like
Just
that.
go in on it like old boy, you know?
No, it's made of brick. It's going to be difficult.
Yeah, like old boy.
Also, it supports the apartment above me, so I
Yeah,
probably don't want to tear that
don't-
one down
Yeah,
yet.
Miss Venus would not be thrilled with you.
Yeah, exactly. So, tear down every single wall. We have
Besides the party walls.
We have a